Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm finally back after about 8 years to review my first ever Lego Star Wars set. This is the 7259 ARC 170 Starfighter from way back in 2005 when Revenge of the Sith first came out. It has a total of 384 pieces and was $40 when it was new. Nowadays, you can find them going for about $100 on eBay, and that's 100% complete used. You can also find them sealed in the box. I know there's one currently for sale at the time of the filming of this for $160. So it is kind of an expensive set nowadays for what it is. Anyway, it comes with 4 minifigures. You see you've got 3 clone pilots and an R5-D4 minifigure that actually dates all the way back to the first year of LEGO Star Wars in 1999. But let's go ahead and take a look at those minifigures. I'm gonna go ahead and use this guy because this is actually my original set from 2005 and it got played with quite a lot. As you might be able to tell, some of these guys, like the printing on this guy's helmet is just kind of fading off. I know the torso on this one is a little bit yellowed actually. This is the best looking one, so I'm just going to use this guy. So this is the original clone pilot minifigure from 2005. The minifigures that come in this set are pretty much what you would expect for the day. You've got 3 clone pilot minifigures and an R5-D4 astromech droid. As for the minifigures themselves, they aren't 100% accurate to what you did see in the movie with the full face helmet instead of the faceless pilot helmets that they had in the movie. Later on, they did fix that with the ARC 170 remake from 2010, which actually came with a Kit Fisto minifigure and just had a little bit more going on. For a 2005 minifigure, this actually is a pretty good design. I like the print on the chest piece here. The print on the helmet is actually quite intricate, and it actually even has back printing with a little straps on the back. And I just think it looks really good. It came with the old school style blaster, kind of the megaphone blaster with a little blue stud on the front. And then we've got the R5-D4 minifigure, which is the same as the minifigure that was released back in 1999 with the half printing on the dome piece. Still to this day, there is actually no back printing on these astromech droids, which I find just kind of funny. I mean, by now you think they would have done that, but back in the day, this was a pretty good print. All the lines are pretty finely printed, and I just think it's a good-looking fig for back then. Of course, the dome piece definitely looked good back then. I did not mind it back then, but nowadays it just kind of looks weird. It's just kind of squashed. Moving on to the set itself here, the 2 back cockpits open up like you would expect, and then the sides actually come out, and you can just kind of remove the weapons from these guys and place them in the cockpit where they're supposed to go. There's a little place for the astromech droid right in the middle here. I'll go ahead and put that guy in the back. And I do really like the design of this ship. It's kind of like a World War II bomber. I believe that's what they were going for, where it has like the turrets on the back as kind of a defense, and the separate cockpits as well. And to put the guy in the front cockpit, you do have to just remove kind of this front piece. It doesn't really have a hinge or anything special like that. So you just kind of put him in there, and there's no detailing on the inside there for him. However, there is detailing in the inside and the back, where you've got 2 little control panels where there's droid tri-fighters depicted on the, I guess, kind of target finders in there. One of the things I do really love about this set is that it's got specially printed pieces. All of these are actually printed, and there's no stickers on this set at all. So these pieces on the side here are printed. This little special nose piece here is also printed. The color has faded over the years, definitely used to match the dark green. It's got these printed front engine pieces as well. These roundels are printed, and these really cool printed bricks on the back. Now onto some of the features of this set. We get this little turret can kind of turn around and stuff, but the coolest part about this set to me is just the fact that you can open the wings up into the attack position here. Just turn this, it's just like the X-Wing gearbox mechanism, and it just opens up the wings. You can kind of see how that mechanism works right in there, and it just looks super cool in that full flight mode there. And then if you can display it in that position, it really ramps it up. I mean, you can, if you set it down, it kind of squashes the bottom wings a little bit. But if you can display it like on the corner of a desk or something, it actually ends up looking really cool, and the wings don't hit anything. Just has a little rubber band holding it together there, just so it doesn't kind of flop around. Works really well. Let's go ahead and move on to one of the coolest features of this set, and one of the things that I just played with endlessly as a kid. I'm talking like just over and over again, is the little bomb release mechanism. So you just pull back on this little guy. You may have noticed it has a rubber band there. You just pull back on this thing, and 2 little bombs fall out. This would be a good time to mention that a lot of the colors in this set aren't 100% accurate. I think there's about 27 pieces on here that are the incorrect color. For instance, this yellow guy back here is supposed to be tan like this one. This gray one is supposed to be black, just kind of simple stuff like that. I just wasn't able to find all the correct pieces. But the original bomb color was this cool trans dark blue, which I just thought was so cool. And then the way that you reload it, this was like my favorite part, is just right in the top here, there's a little space behind the front cockpit, and you just drop them in there. And it just goes into a little compartment down there, and then you can just pull it, and it drops out again. I used to literally constantly do that. Go ahead and retract the wings so we can kind of set it down again, put the bombs back in there. One thing I've noticed about this set after it's aged a bit, it is a 15-year-old set by now, is just how fragile it is. I mean, the wingtips here, oh, there you go, the cannon just kind of fell off. And the wingtips themselves actually are just held on by a few studs. You can tell it's just these little bits right here holding that wingtip. The body itself is pretty sturdy, but the wingtips are fairly fragile, and when you pick it up, you can tell the wings kind of like fold down a little bit. They're just a little bit flimsy, but I mean, if you're displaying it, it's not a big deal. I do remember this thing kind of being a little bit fragile as I would fly it around the house and stuff as a kid. Anyways, overall, I think this is a really awesome set. I think it's definitely up there with the classic sets. I think it's one of the best of 2005. For sure. One thing I really like about this set is just the way they did the nose here. It's only held on by these little 4 studs, but I think it works really well, and it looks a lot like the real thing, or the model from the movie. Would I say this is worth picking up today, though? I mean, if it means something to you, you know, like for that nostalgia factor, if you had one as a kid, I would say, sure, go ahead and pick it up. However, for $100 for a used one, or even $160 still in the box, it's a bit pricey. I mean, for a $40 set, this works great. However, for $100, I don't know. If you have some kind of connection to it, I'd say go for it. It's a really, really neat set. Still holds up today even, at least by my standards. I actually don't have a lot of brand new sets, but in my personal opinion, I think it holds up today. Let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments, and be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. That's what the like button's there for. And you got to stay tuned for the next review, which is going to be the 6212 X-Wing fighter from 2006, which is a lot like this set. If you'd like to see that video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you then. Have a good one.